What's going on, Cancer? And welcome to the Chariot Friends. Justin here, and I hope you're feeling amazing today. So, for those of you who are returning, welcome back, Soul Tribe. I appreciate your subscriptions, your likes, and shares. Your support really is just the best, Cancer, and it keeps us growing. And for those of you who are new, welcome. I'm happy Higher Self has brought you here. We are in for an amazing journey. So the purpose of this channel, for those of you who have Cancer in your placement, Sun, Moon, Rising, Mars, wherever, Cancer, this one's for you. And I do tarot card spreads based off our ruler here, the good old Moon. And I'll talk about what sign she's in, what phase she's in, when she's going void, of course, just all of those lunar shenanigans. And just so you're all aware, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one, so take what resonates with you, leave the rest with me. Never force a reading on a situation, and everything will be fantastic, Cancer. Now, let's jump into it. Your space has been cleansed. Gems, feeling lovely. Just great energy all around here, Cancer. So, Cancer, the moon is still in Aries. You know, the energy is hot right now. And I hope you're feeling just pumped up as I am, Cancer, you know, because this, with the moon being in Aries, this is very passionate, very brave, very just confident energy, ambitious. So if we have, you know, just anything that you wanted to get started, Cancer, you know, this is the time, you know. Get out there and make the most of this, just like, make the most of the springtime. This is a new cycle for freshness and just, Cancer. Beginning of the zodiacal year. Let's make the most of it. And then with the moon still being in a new moon phase, you know, this is the time to really think about what kind of seeds we want to get planting. You know, the moon, think of the moon, the new moon phase is just like the moon laying out just like fertile ground and just like asking, Cancer, what do you dream of? And then let's, like, you know, the opportunities are endless. It's just like, what can you think of? And so make the most of this, Cancer. You know, the moon really is trying to really set us up for success, you know. So yeah, work with this energy, Cancer. And then last couple things, just so you all are aware, these readings that I do, they're not gender specific readings, so apply the energies to people as they make sense for your situation. And then the decks that I'm using are all down in the description box below, so definitely check that out if you're interested, Cancer. But let's get into your general energy of the day, which is one of Taurus's cards. You got the fifth card of Taurus, which is the broken vase, which that's interesting because, well, we'll see where this goes, Cancer. But we got hardship, misfortune, trial, overcome, crisis, 2 steps back, change of state, grief, fix it, opportunity, pressure, burden, destroy, adversity, accidents, disappointments, and setback. That's tough, Cancer. You know, I feel with this energy, you know, if we're going through something right now that, you know, if we're going through, let's say, some sort of like, just like a tough time right now, Cancer, you know, or maybe we're not sure where things are at right now. Maybe we're waiting to hear back for like maybe some news about whether things are about to become a broken vase or not. But either way, Cancer, I find with these situations right here, any sort of like hardships, misfortunes, tough times, anything like that, I feel that it's where it's not an ideal situation maybe at that moment. You know, sometimes in these situations here, it's best to be present in when these types of things happen. And what I mean is, because sometimes if we can get so caught up in the shock of whatever is going down that will send us into a spiral, you know, and it gets into it puts you in a place where instead of how can we alleviate this problem, it's just like possibly can get you to a place where, you know, we might be exacerbating it or, you know, making it worse. So when I'm saying being present like that, it's just like, okay, like this has gone, let's say for example, let's say a literal vase broke, because I'll tell you what, there is nothing, I just dropped a bowl like maybe a few days ago, and there's nothing worse than broken glass on the floor. So if we're in a situation when that happens, pause for a second, be present. And that's not to say we're shutting down emotions. No, you feel pissed off, feel it, Cancer. You feel you're upset, feel it. Your whatever emotion comes up, be with it for a second. You know, let that just live in that emotion. This is neither good nor bad right now. This is just heat. And because I find, Cancer, when we're able to do that, I feel like especially with our sign being as in tune with our emotions as we are, and being, you know, so receptive to that, it's best to feel that and understand that in that moment, and see how that's going to fuel our actions. Because if we can get to a place where, okay, our feelings might be, we still might have that hot energy, but if our mind is at least clear, it's like, okay, this is going down. Where do I go first? You know, then I find that where it may not take away from like that feeling of, like, you know, that feeling when it's just like where your body feels like it's just tense, and, you know, just it's a weird situation. But I find that, look at me sweeping, I find that as we sweep up this situation here, you get all your broken glass back in order, kind of go over this thing a couple of times here, Cancer, reflect on what went down. Then it reminds you to, and I know that a broken bowl is very, very minor on the scale of things, Cancer, of what your situation could be. But I find that broken vase situations are also a good reminder of that these situations, no matter how unfortunate or how wild it may be, you know, I like that this, you know, the fix it. We can always fix it. We can always, you know, we can readjust, and we can it says overcoming crisis. I thought that said overcome a crisis, but Cancer, we can overcome a crisis. That does not take away from that. Now let's see how we can work with this energy, Cancer. Because that's an interesting one to start on, and especially considering what's, you know, Pluto moving into Aquarius tomorrow. You know, we want some good vibrations going through. We're trying to raise that vibration, Cancer. Let's see how we can go about doing that. Okay, let's see what we got here. Oh. You'll see why I laugh, Cancer, because you got the Death card here, 1, and that's. And then you got the 5 of Swords in reverse. And you know, Cancer, I like this combination here, because, you know, a broken vase situation is very much, I feel very much like a Death card. You know, it's whatever's gone down is getting ready to change us. You know, where we go from here is going to, it changes the game. You know, even like, because for, let's say for another instance, I'm thinking example, you know, let's say if we get in like and I'm not trying to, you know, knock on wood, Cancer, but let's say there's like maybe like an automobile accident or something along those lines. You know, in that moment, you know, it's like it can feel like the world is over. You know, it's a lot that's going down, but really it's just a transformation that's happening. You know, this situations, these broken vase moments, are happening for a reason, and it's just like what was going down. You know, don't worry about. I feel like with this 5 of Swords in reverse, you know, it's about keeping a cool head. You know, don't worry about what other people's opinions about a situation or anything along those lines, you know, comparing like maybe how other people handle certain things. This situation is unique to you, and you know, this gives you a chance to reflect. What went down? Where was my mind at? Was I checked out? You know, was I on autopilot? You know, what could I have been more mindful? You know, what you know, was it that, you know, if it was some kind of car accident, could this person have been more mindful? Because maybe this, you know, but Death cards, they're transitions, because we're getting ready to grow out of this. This is going to, because even like in a car accident, where yes, that situation sucked, and you know, we might have tickets and things, but bet you're going to be more careful when you're driving, whether you caused it or whether you didn't. You know, it's one of those things. You do get some growth from that. It makes us more mindful. Maybe we don't take that route because we know that that's like a hot spot for accidents. You know, maybe we allot more time for whatever, Cancer, but we make this energy work for us. You know, and we realize too, Cancer, that these broken vase moments, you know, they happen to all of us. You know, we all go through, and it's no matter how big or how small, we all understand a broken vase moment and have probably felt the different degrees at some point in time. And I also feel this Five of Swords is just remembering that like, because sometimes we can get so in our head, it's like, you know, why does this happen to me? Like, gosh, I was so, you know, like no one else is, you know, it can get a lot. So just be mindful, I feel like, too, and be compassionate with yourself when these situations go. And compassionate with yourself and with others. Because, you know, Cancer, even if someone was, you know, a bonehead, might have not been paying attention, might have cut you off or whatever, we can get upset and exacerbate the situation, or we can wish them high vibrations and send the situation on their way, because like, well, yes, this you know, again, it blows, but it is what it is. Like, it doesn't change the fact that it's happened. You know, we can't go back in time, so all we can do is move forward. So we just move forward, Cancer. More let's move forward. And you know, Cancer, I'm even looking at this burden here. Sometimes too, even after a situation has passed, we can carry that whatever has gone down throughout the entire day, throughout the entire week, throughout the entire month. Because I was even thinking with car accidents, sometimes that don't even ruin your day. That can ruin however long it takes for the claim and stuff to go through. But don't let that, or you know, try not to let that become a burden on you as well, Cancer. You know, try to let go of this situation as best as you can. You know, just so that when your energy is not tied up there, then we can kind of focus on solutions and find ways that we can kind of work with each other and work with each other, figure out how we can get this all solved out and work with ourselves, Cancer, you know. Oh, look at this Wheel of Fortune here from first. So, Wheel of Fortune, really, Cancer, we're going to take this Wheel of Fortune sideways, because I feel like this is going to be just how it came out. This can be, it's like, think of these broken vase situations as it's like a pivotal point. It's like, if you've ever seen like a little kid, you know, like when they're maybe playing around and, you know, they're kind of, you know, really getting into the fun, and then bam, someone just eats pavement. And, you know, there's that pause when it's like all the parents are just kind of looking, it's like, okay, either they're going to be okay or they're going to lose it. And that's where I feel like this energy, Cancer, is kind of leading you right now. It's like we're in the middle of, we're at the apex of a cycle right now. Which way do you want to go? How do you want this to play out? Do we want this to just be an unfortunate situation for a while, or do we want to find the fortune in this, the lesson in this, and find the growth out of this, Cancer, anymore? So this, normally when they like the sideways, it was leaning a little more towards reverse. It depends on how it's tilting, will depend on how I get it, but I kind of like that, Cancer. This definitely feels more of like, where do you want to go with this, Cancer? It really is a deciding point. But let's get to some challenges with working with this energy, as if this energy isn't just one big challenge. Oh, look at you, Nine of Stars. And I like that. The Nine of Stars, Cancer, we've had the Nine of Stars. You could probably write me a book on the Nine of Stars. How often? Because this is a Nine of Pentacles in other days. We had that going for a while. But the Nine of Stars is a card of stability. And I feel that, you know, some challenges, Cancer, is keeping our emotional state, keeping our energies, keeping a cool head when things like this happen. You know, it can be difficult at times. You know, it's whatever these trials, tribulations, change of states, setbacks, they can be tough, but they are strengthening us, Cancer. And it's just sometimes we have to work to find the fortune out of this and to see in what ways that we're growing from this. But it may, and you know, Cancer, this may be something to challenge that, depending on how this went down, you know, if this has gone down, or, you know, just thinking about any kind of future stuff. You know, if this gets to a place where, you know, maybe there gets into some kind of like financial thing, or maybe, because even the stars, you know, can deal with like health and resources and whatnot. You know, this is a time, you know, when these energies happen. Again, you know, if we're not in our right state of mind, then we get to this place where we're reactive, and we put our health and put ourselves at risk, Cancer. You know, and that's not, you know, for me to, you know, try to get you scared or anything, but it's just saying to, you know, just be mindful, you know, that where, again, I get a situation can suck, but how do we use that, how can we take our emotions, even like the anger and the frustration and the upset, and turn that into fuel to build from this, to take a broken situation and grow something out of that. You know, to look at you working with the new moon energy. How can we plant new seeds on that? If anything, this is just, think of this as just like, this is a tower moment here. You know, it's out with the old. Maybe it was time for you to replace that car, maybe replace that bowl or that vase or something along those lines, Cancer. Who knows? But yeah, just be mindful of your, just like where your stability at, emotional stability, all of that. Make sure to take care of our health too, because just sometimes, Cancer, I'm just even thinking about this, situations like this can just be really stressful as well, you know, and it can get us to where we're just like, so we just want to be more, more. Let's see what else we got, Cancer. Interesting. We got the Hanged Man in reverse here, Cancer. And you know, I do feel with this, if this is something that, because the Hanged Man in reverse can be a card of enlightenment and of understanding. But I feel also too, Cancer, this can be a card of rushing, you know, because sometimes when we're in this kind of stressful situation, again, when I was talking about, we can be kind of reactive and stuff like that. We want to make sure, again, you know, just to kind of pause for a second and, you know, make sure that we're really understanding what's going down, what we're feeling in these situations, and know that these feelings that you are feeling or may feel when this stuff happens, they don't define you. They're just, if anything, our emotions are, especially I feel like for us, Cancer, they're just signals. It's just like, okay, this, oh gosh, there's all this, there's this, the pissed off level is just through the roof, you know. That's just like, okay, well, what can I do about that? Where can I channel that? How can I make it so that, like, because things are already destroyed, how can I fuel this and find that enlightenment and get that understanding, you know? And because even when I'm thinking about this too, Cancer, hey baby, the Hanged Man is Neptune energy. And Neptune can deal with like fantasies and stuff. And I bring that up to say that sometimes we can let our emotions really kind of color a situation and really blow things up and make it a lot bigger than what it actually is, you know, and it can make it so us that we aren't so clear-headed. So just something to be mindful of, Cancer, you know, that when we're able to come again from a cool head and, you know, just really kind of think leveled, there's a great understanding unlocks within you. It can be really a cathartic experience, and really can be one of like really big growth, you know, Cancer. More. So let's get to some advice from Mars about how we can work with this and how appropriate, the king of aggression. Give us some advice on how we can manage this anger here, Cancer. Let's see what's going down with that. Interesting. Okay, so we got the Seven of Stars in reverse. And I like that, Cancer, because the Seven of Stars is like a card of investment. And I feel like it's, again, where are we investing our energy right now? Are we fueling this, again, are we fueling this energy in a sense of like that let me try to unjumble that sentence, Cancer. Is the actions that we're getting ready to take going to improve or going to add on to the chaos in this situation? That's where I feel like Mars is trying to ask you. When I was saying that moment where you just kind of pause for a second and just like, okay, anger's happening, sadness is happening, frustration is happening, anxiety is happening. Okay, where do I go from that? All right, you know what? How can maybe I can ball this up into one? And it's just like, listen, we need to, it's, if we can just figure, work on figuring out, how we can just channel those energies a little bit differently, Cancer. I really feel like that we can turn where people see our sign as just being emotional and sensitive. No, we're sensitive to the energies, where it's like we're receptive of, where it's like, if this was like an accident, where it's like, we might want to chew their head off, but we see that they feel, that they feel guilt about this, or, that they're feeling bad and they're beating themselves up. And it's just like, listen, yes, I'm upset, but I'm not upset at you. I'm just upset that the situation has gone down, but we're going to fix this. Let's exchange. I'm still on this car accident. Let's exchange information. Let's get this figured out. Like, ain't no big deal. Granted, in this Cancer, listen, I'm not saying that you got to invite this person out for coffee, but it's just, you can still be upset, but be calm, in how we operate in this energy, and use this time to reflect, see how you did, how you managed it, or how you handled the situation and how it went. And if you didn't care for how that went, again, how can we invest our energies differently next time? More? Four of Swords. Do you see this person meditating here, Cancer? They're pretty much being zen here. And the swords have to deal with thoughts. The Four of Swords in general is a card of rest, but I feel that this Cancer, this Four of Swords, it's really just everything that I've been saying up until this point. It's, how do we keep a cool head? How do we keep our minds zen in chaos? Because even with this situation here, Cancer, this may not even be something that's personally like happening to you. This could even be, with where, all the changes in the world that are going down. How do we keep our thoughts and stuff calm, and even in like with where the state of the world is right now, And if we find that, stuff like that maybe stresses us out, not that I'm saying, because listen, I personally don't watch the news. I have nothing against it. But, if we find that kind of stuff like maybe stresses us out, maybe cutting down some of the time, maybe let that be what you watch during the day, to get an idea what your day, is going into. But maybe during the evening, let that be just wind down time. Let that be like, Four of Swords time, to take all that energy, broken stuff and whatnot, and how can we piece that back together and get you back whole, Cancer, so you can go out there and manifesting some, something creative again. Any more? All right, Cancer, let's switch back over. So yeah, this is, it's interesting, Cancer. I feel, and really, Cancer, something to be mindful of too. I'm just thinking with all this Aries energy right now, granted the moon's going to be moving out of Aries tomorrow, but there's still a lot of heat that's going to be going on, at least up until, till about the beginning of April, probably like that first week or so of April. There'll still be a lot of Aries energy going down. So just be mindful too of just getting into any kind of arguments or anything like that, because I'm already kind of hearing love is in the air, but so is fury. and I don't want to say fury, but tensions are hot, just because with where everything's at, it's, we're feeling a little more bold and people are just kind of getting adjusted to that. So just something to be mindful of as well, Cancer, during this time. But I think I'm going to leave that there. So hopefully you like that, Cancer. And if anything resonated with you, give it a thumbs up and share this, Cancer. Because really, you know, I was reading something the other day on one of the apps that I have or that I work with, and it had mentioned there was like a transit that's open right now, and it was an interesting way of talking about emotions, and it was saying that you may experience. It could be at one moment you're feeling oneness with the universe, another you're feeling melancholy, depression, you know, maybe not that extreme. But then on another instance, you see the world through rose-tinted glasses. And it's not about, and this is still the app, it's not about really rating the emotions, you know, not, you know, with this emotion good or bad. It had mentioned just living in it. In Cancer, that it's been kind of enlightening. You know, it's definitely something that, you know, putting into practice, but I feel that if we can get our feelings to where we just understand them better, you know, and to in how we can interpret these signals, because that's how I feel like our intuition is exercised, Cancer. You know, we really can feel the energies out, and where we can be so receptive. So it's just understanding those signals and just living with the emotions and just seeing where that's trying to guide you. So, you know, if you know someone who may resonate with this, you know, and that might help, you know, at least give something to think about. Maybe, you know, maybe getting into some tools or practices, you know, to kind of help with this. Anything to help, Cancer. And then if you haven't already, subscribe. And you know what, when you're done sharing those people, tell them to subscribe and hit that bell button. You too, if you haven't already, Cancer. And then social media, I am on, this would be a good app for you, Cancer. I'm on Insight Timer. You know, I have Facebook and Instagram, but I'm juggling a whole bunch of things, so I haven't really taken a bunch of time with that. But I am doing something really cool, or at least I'm working on, you know, expanding on something. I started a group on this meditation app, Insight Timer. It's a free app, and they have this spot where you can make groups, and I made a group called Zodiacs Raising the Vibration. And right now it's just a little spot to just drop positive affirmations or encouraging messages. You know, I post one there daily, so even if you don't think of one, but you just might need a mantra while you're going through this broken vase situation, come on through, scroll through. It's a whole vault for you, Cancer. There's nothing but positive messages. And, you know, as the group grows, I want to do something where, you know, maybe scheduling like different meditation groups together, different times we can all maybe meet up and just have a good old time, Cancer. So come on over and join that. Or if you're just on the app, you know, just friend me anyway, Cancer. And then, you know, if we happen to be meditating with each other, send a thanks for meditating with me and tell me how you found me. I would love that. And then lastly, check your sun, moon, rising, Venus, Mars. Yeah, those are your personal planets, Cancer. If you just want to get just a good idea of just who you are, those are good planets to start. And, you know, I was actually talking with a buddy about this the other day. Where Nebula, I like Nebula. It's a good kind of beginner app. But if you want something just like, I feel like one that I feel can cater to wherever you're at on if you know, just looking into astrology, intermediate, or like real serious. You know, I find time passages. Let me look real quick, Cancer. Hold on. We're going to be unprofessional here for like 2 seconds. Time Passages. That's a great app. You know, I like them for finding your signs and stuff. It's really dope. But do all that, Cancer. Then check out my other channel, Alchemist 8. I do videos weekly there with different monthly themes. I'm actually rolling out a new one right now. A little bit of a beefy one. So, you know, if you like, set aside a little bit of time, Cancer. You know, I go talk about the planets. It's a cool, good old time. And all that housekeeping, down in the description box below. But let me get your surprise cards here so I can get you out of here. Interesting. All right, Cancer. So we got the Justice card in reverse, and that's interesting. We are going to talk about that, especially with this broken vase situation. Oh, interesting. And then we got the Air card in reverse, which, you know, that's the Air Justice card is Libra, and interesting. So I'm going to double down on that. Cancer, first off, with this broken vase situation, the Justice card can be a card of, you know, it can deal with legal matters, however that's looking. make sure we're keeping a cool head during this, Cancer. You know, if we're in a situation or if something may happen in the future, you know, just be mindful, you know, of how your emotions can affect the situation, especially too. Mars is going to be moving into our sign on Saturday, depending on when you're watching this, it'd be March 25th. So our actions are going to be more emotion driven at this time. You know, things are just going to be energies are going to be a little wonky right now, you know, maybe a little more emotional. So again, with this air card in reverse, I just think we want to keep a cool head at this time, Cancer, and allow just the emotions to just flow freely and just kind of feel them and then let them kind of go, Cancer. Let them, or if we can't let them go, how can we fuel that into something constructive? You know, maybe if we need to channel that into writing, maybe into coloring, maybe we need to go work on the car, maybe go for a run, whatever, but make this energy work for you, Cancer, because you know this is, you know, you want to be mindful. You know, Justice card is also cause and effect, so you know, we just, you know, just be mindful of our actions, okay? So I think I'm gonna leave that there, Cancer. So let's get you out of here. Stay safe out there, and you keep eyes on that moon. You know, help you keep your balance and keep your emotions, you know, cool during this time, Cancer. You know, we're growing things right now. We're not destroying. Or, you know, if things get destroyed, what are we going to manifest? And I will catch you on the next one tomorrow.